You're stranded on a remote, forbidden island where danger lurks at every turn. Snakes to your left, snakes to your right, giant cockroaches skittering behind you, and in front of you, the endless open sea. There's no easy escape, and every step you take could be your last. This is Snake Island, one of the most dangerous places on Earth, and if you find yourself here, survival is far from guaranteed. Located 33 kilometers off the coast of Brazil, near the state of São Paulo, this treacherous place is so lethal that even the Brazilian government has banned visitors. Known as Ilha de Queimada Grande, Snake Island spans just 430,000 square meters, yet it is crawling with danger. With an estimated 1 snake per square meter, you are literally never more than a few feet away from death. Among these serpents are the Golden Lancehead pit vipers, one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Even the locals fear this island, telling chilling tales of those who ventured there but never returned. So, how do you survive the nightmare of Snake Island? How deadly is a Golden Lancehead's venom? What other creatures roam the island? And why could pirates be just as dangerous as the snakes themselves? If you ever end up stranded here, whether by accident or some terrible twist of fate, here's what you need to do to make it out alive. Step 1. Avoid landing on Snake Island at all costs. If you're sailing or fishing near the island, the best survival tip is to stay far away. The waters surrounding Snake Island are treacherous, littered with sharp rocks that could wreck your boat in an instant. This is exactly what happened in February 2019, when a small fishing boat carrying 6 men got caught in a violent storm. As their vessel began to sink near the island, the group faced a grim choice: attempt to swim to the shore of Snake Island, or remain in the doomed boat. 4 of the men took their chances with the island, while the other 2 chose to stay on the sinking boat, preferring to die on their own terms rather than face what lurked on land. The 4 survivors stayed on the beach for 3 days, never daring to enter the forest, where thousands of vipers lay coiled in wait. They drank rainwater and scavenged for bananas growing on the edge of the forest, surviving just long enough to spot a passing boat. With no time to waste, they swam toward it, praying for rescue. Miraculously, they were saved. So, what's the lesson here? If your boat is sinking near Snake Island, don't try to explore the jungle. Stick to the beach, avoid thick vegetation, and hope for an escape. Step 2. Watch out for the other horrors that crawl the island. As if the deadly snakes weren't enough, Snake Island is also infested with giant cockroaches and locusts. These creatures cover the island, and if you're stranded, you'll need to keep a close watch on them. While harmless compared to the vipers, these relentless insects can swarm, bite, and turn an already miserable experience into a true living hell. But if you're starving, there's a dark silver lining. Cockroaches are edible. If you have a strong stomach, you might be able to keep yourself alive by eating them. Packed with protein and essential amino acids, cockroaches could become your emergency meal. So, while disgusting in a survival situation, they might just be the difference between life and death. Step 3. Prepare for the snakes, and hope you don't get bitten. Even if you stick to the beach, eventually, you'll have to face the snakes. This is their island, and there's no avoiding them forever. Your best defense? Find a long, sturdy stick. You'll need it to push away snakes, keep them at a distance, and defend yourself if necessary. If you do get bitten, things go from bad to worse. The Golden Lancehead pit viper has evolved to a venom that is up to 5 times stronger than its mainland relatives. A single bite can cause kidney failure, brain hemorrhaging, intestinal bleeding, rapid muscle decay, as if your flesh is melting from the inside. If you're wearing rings, watches, or bracelets, remove them immediately. Your limbs could swell to the point where these items cut off circulation. If you have an EpiPen, use it to manage anaphylactic shock, but make no mistake, without medical attention, you are in grave danger. Step 4. Hope you have a doctor with you. Snake Island is so dangerous that only a handful of people are allowed to visit, and they all follow strict safety protocols. The only authorized visitors are biologists and researchers who study the island's unique wildlife, and even they don't go without a doctor. In fact, the Brazilian government mandates that every team visiting Snake Island must include a medical professional.
Why?
Because without immediate treatment, a bite from a golden lancehead viper has a 7% fatality rate. With treatment, that number drops to 3%, but getting help is nearly impossible when you're stranded on the island. There are no hospitals, no emergency services, and no way to call for help. If you're bitten, you'll need to somehow make it back to the mainland, but by then, it may already be too late. Step 5. Beware of the most unexpected threat, pirates. You'd think that deadly snakes and giant insects would be your biggest problem on Snake Island, but there's one more threat to worry about, pirates. Despite the risks, wildlife smugglers, also known as biopirates, frequently sneak onto the island to capture golden lancehead vipers.
Why?
Because these snakes are worth a fortune on the black market. A single golden lancehead viper can fetch anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 from collectors and pharmaceutical companies eager to study their unique venom. Since this island is the only place on Earth where these vipers exist, they are now listed as an endangered species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. For this reason, not everyone you meet on Snake Island will be friendly. If smugglers find you there, you could be in as much danger from them as from the snakes. So, if you ever get stranded, avoid any suspicious boats or strangers, as they may not have your best interests at heart. Your escape, and the nightmare that awaits elsewhere. If you somehow manage to escape Snake Island, consider yourself one of the luckiest people alive. But don't celebrate just yet. South America has plenty of other terrifying places, and your survival skills might be needed again sooner than you think. Imagine getting lost deep in the Amazon rainforest, where blood-sucking fish lurk in the waters, waiting for the slightest opportunity to swim up your urethra. Sounds horrifying? You might want to learn how to survive that next.